What's going on, fellas? So there comes a point in every man's life where it gets quiet. It gets real quiet, G. Real lonely. Alright, all the calls, all the texts, them motherfuckers stop. Alright, they come to a complete halt. All the attention fades, the clout, it just all disappears. Alright, guys? And at that point in your life, you may feel abandoned. All right, fellas, and I'm not going to lie. You will, at this point in your life right here, this stage, G, you will feel abandoned by people. And even it'll get to the point where you will feel like you've abandoned yourself. All right, fellas, and at some point, it gets even worse. And you may be thinking, what can be worse than me abandoning myself? G, at some point, you're going to feel like God has abandoned you. All right, but let me let you know, G, when you are in the lonely stage, the limbo stage, and I'm going to explain to you what the lonely stage is today. A lot of you guys are in it right now, especially if you're a chosen one. I'm going to explain to you why you're in it. I'm going to explain to you how you need to move and operate while you're in this lonely stage, because you can't run from it. You can run from it, but it's better off that you sit in it, all right, and be still. And then I'm going to show you when God puts you in this lonely stage so you can look at your life and identify that you're on the right track. This video is just a confirmation that you're on the right track. All right, fellas? So with that being said, let's get right into it. All right, now let's talk about what. Start off with what the lonely stage is. All right, what is the lonely stage? Some of you guys have heard this term before in business. Some of you guys have heard this term in self-development. Or some of you guys may have heard me say it before. The lonely stage is limbo. All right, you're basically in between two spaces. All right, that's limbo. You're not quite there and you're not quite there. You're not black nor you're white. You're in a gray area. All right, you're not up nor you're down. You're in limbo. So what is limbo? What is the lonely stage? The lonely stage is you. All right, fellas? This is you. And you are in the middle between two stages, like I said. The stage of who you used to be and the stage of who you want to be. All right, now here, this is the problem, all right? When you're in this stage, this is why it feels lonely, all right? The reason why is because you used to be this person. And it feels very familiar, all right? Let me give you an example. If you used to do drugs, let me get explicit, or you used to watch porn, but you no longer feel the need and you no longer have the appetite for degenerate shit, there's going to be this pull, and it's almost like guilt, all right, fellas? You know that's not who you want to be, and you know that's not who you are anymore, and you've repented for your sins, but there's these voices. All right, guys, these voices come in the form of people. These voices come in the form of nostalgic shit. These voices come in the form of even smells. Anything can trigger you wanting or leaning to go back to that spot. Like I said, this old version of you can come in the form of people. You can have people telling you, oh, you think you all that now. Or you change. Or you eating better. Or you praying now. You going to church. You working out. You not chasing hoes anymore. Gee, it's a lot of pressure, all right? And those voices are loud. Now remember, G, you're here, right here in the gray area. All right, this is the lonely stage. G. I'm explaining to you what it is first for all the guys in the back who don't know. It's gonna open your eyes today. This is you, all right? You're in between. Now, what's on this side? On this side is the 2.0 version of you, all right? This is the version where you know who you are. There's people over here. There's environments. There's places. There's high frequency activities that you know in your heart. Why? Because you know who you are. You know you deserve that shit. You know you're putting in the work. You know you're building every day to get there. But also, there's another loud voice that tells you you're not ready for it yet. You haven't earned it. You don't deserve it. You're not connected enough. You don't know those people. You don't got the right clothes for it. You haven't built yourself up enough to be able to sit in that, all right? So you're here. You're in limbo. This is the problem with limbo. Before I get to the why God put you in this spot, all right, G? Because trust me, G, it's okay. You're not alone, fellas. There's many guys watching this shit. The problem with limbo, with the lonely stage is, remember, G, I told you, both of these voices are loud. Now, depending on what voice you listen to, depending on what side you listen to, depending on what side you end up either gravitating to or gravitating back to, that's going to be determined by your ears, your eyes, the information you take in. G, I say this all the time, and I'm going to put the attraction sequence here up on the board. G, the first step, a lot of guys want to focus on the action and result. G, the first step is observation. G, most of the time when most guys go back, I'm about to save a lot of you guys' life today. Most of the time, the reason why a lot of you guys go back, it has nothing to do with your actions. Your actions are only a result of your observation. G, even your thoughts are only a result of what you watch, the conversations you have, what you listen to, all right? I'm always go back to source. It's the same shit, all right, fellas? So, if you, for all you guys who have temptations of going back, temptations of calling your ex, temptations of skipping the gym, temptations of being like your homeboys because they make you feel bad for elevating, G, every time you get that, understand it has all to do with the observation. The reason why you keep going back is because you keep hanging around them. You keep listening to the same stuff they listen to. You keep having the same conversations they have. That's why you keep going back to the old you. But if you can refrain, G, understand that your ears, your mouth, your nose, and your eyes are all gateways, not to the soul, but to the thoughts. All right, fellas? So understand, control, and protect your observation. Listen to me. This voice should be louder. All right, G, you should be listening to this voice more. Now, this thing about these voices over here. These voices over here are scary as well. This shit is scary because you're running from it. But this shit is scary because you're running to something that you can't quite see yet. It's like you're running down a tunnel, all right? And there's this little bitty light at the end of the tunnel, all right? And you getting closer, and it's getting a little bit bigger every day, but it's still small, so you can't quite see it. That's why it's scary. And on the opposite side of this tunnel is this big-ass monster chasing your ass. And this is you here in the middle, all right? You guys got the imagery? You're running towards this light, but you got this paranoia going back. And this beast is real pretty, too. It got a fat ass and some titties. You guys know what I'm talking about. But, G, focus on the light, all right, fellas? Focus on the light. That should have been the title of this video. Focus on the light. I swear to God, you won't go back, all right? It is almost impossible to go back when you focus on the light. Why? Because the more you focus on the light, the bigger it gets. Why? It's like riding a motorcycle. You guys ever rode a motorcycle? When you turn on a motorcycle, you don't look at right in front of you. You look at where you're going. Where you're going. If you pay attention to even hear too much, you're going to forget where you're going and you're going to fall. Stay present. But keep your eyes on the prize. All right, G? Don't worry about this bullshit back here. It don't even matter at this point. Now, let's talk about the why. As in, why does God put you in a lonely stage? Why does God love you so much, but he still decides to put you in a place where you don't even understand yourself? I mean, you ain't lost yourself yet. You just like, damn, God, I'm waking up every day and I don't know who I am. You telling me to say I am, but when I say I am, I put a question mark behind it because I really don't know. G, I get it. G, the why is very simple to understand. All right? It's not easy to understand, but it's simple. All right? It's like trying to get a woman to sleep with you. It's not easy, but it's real simple. All right? Simple steps. Very simplistic, very practical. Now, why does God put you in a lonely stage? There's a word that I love to use. One of my favorite words. All right? And that's no, I'm just playing. And that's detachment. The reason why God puts you in the lonely stage sometimes. The first initial reason is because he's preparing you for something great. He's not punishing you. And sometimes you could be being tested. Usually you're in boot camp. All right. That's another word for the lonely stage. Boot camp. All right, G. And if you ever been to boot camp is an excruciating place. If you ever been to the military, after you leave from boot camp, you kind of detach from things on the outside world. I'm going to be honest with you. You still care about and love stuff, but certain things don't matter to you. It ain't important to you. Why? Because you had to go so long without it. All right? Now, let me relate this back to the what so I can help you understand the why. Like I said, this is simple. What is the lonely stage? God puts you in a point where you go without attention, without validation, without the normal life that you was used to. So the reason why he does this is because he wants you to detach from that stuff. Now the next question is, why does he want you to detach? Because he wants you to understand, one, you don't need that stuff. All right, fellas? I'm not saying you can't own anything. Just don't let anything own you. So he's trying to show you don't need that in order to be the man you need to be. And here's the paradox. In order to be the man you need to be, you have to drop that stuff. You cannot hold on to things to be the man you need to be. I'll give you an example. If you finally get money, but you've never been through this process, as soon as you lose that money, you gonna break. And remember, we said God ain't trying to break you. He will never put on you more than you can bear. So he puts you in the detachment phase, the lonely stage, so he can make sure your back is strong enough so you can bear that shit. You get what I'm saying? That's why you can't smoke it till you 18. If you do it at 16, your lungs gonna collapse, all right? You can try it if you want, but there's a high probability you won't live to 46, all right, fellas? So understand, detachment from the exterior, detachment from the external, detachment from anything your ass think you need in order to survive, even air. And water. I am just joking, fellas, for all you fucking literal ass guys. God damn, can't make a damn joke. So understand, that's the first why. Let me give you the second. We all have desires. All right, G, we all have deep, dark desires. All right, fellas, some of you guys, G, we all think some deep, dirty shit, fellas. But listen to me, understand. What God does in his why does he put you in his lonely stage? You got desires, but some of them desires ain't pure. All right? Gee, some of your some of your desires ain't right. All right? Fuck them being nasty. They ain't even a problem because we all nasty. I'm just saying. Some of your desires are diabolical in the worst way. All right, fellas? So what he does in the lonely stage is he puts you by yourself to purify your desires. How does this work? We ain't on the how yet, but I'm going to show you how does this part work. How it works is when you by yourself, Jen, you thinking about your shit. This is why solitary confinement is so fucked up. Because you get the opportunity, the blissful opportunity to face your own thoughts. To recognize that the shit you really think you want is really ain't your thoughts. It's really some dark shit that you've been traumatized with in your past. And then you learn how to let that shit go because you can face yourself. But when you distracted by all the noise, G, you will be convinced that those desires are right. And they're built on truth. No, they're probably built on scarcity, built on vengeance, revenge, whatever the fuck you got going on in your sick, twisted mind. All right, fellas? So, he puts you along to purify your desires. Now, next thing. Remember, the attachment sequence, guys. I told you about what? Observation. All right, fellas? You got these two things on the side of your face, all right? Or on the side of your head, whatever you want to say, called ears. When you're by yourself, what goes away? The calls, the texts, the emails, the DMs. What is all that? That's noise, all right, fellas? When you're by yourself and you stop watching all these damn podcasts, and it's crazy that I'm saying this because you're watching a podcast right now, and I'm telling you not to. I'm not telling you not to get information. I'm telling you not to let somebody else's voice be the source of your voice. All right, fellas? Your voice needs to be heard first. You can get counsel. You can fellowship. Mentorship is great. Gee, I pay for mentorship myself. But understand, my voice comes first. It got to go through God, but it got to go through me first. So when you're by yourself in that lonely stage, he can cleanse your ears so his voice is the only one you hear. So when you need counsel, go to the therapist, G, but go to him first and make sure the therapist is the right idea. You're going to start thinking that strategically when you go through this lonely stage. But if you ain't ever been here, you going to go to your homeboy Dante. If your name Dante, don't get offended. But Dante going to have your ass thinking he a guru. He going to be telling you shit to do. You going to listen to him and you going to go back to that shit. Guarantee you, it happens every time, all right, fellas? I ain't saying Dante bad, and Dante may want the best for you, but Dante don't know what God wants for you. The only person who know what God wants for you is you and God. And your mama probably, because God probably told her when you was like 2. All right, but you got to pay attention, G. Don't even go ask your mama, because she might lie to you, G. All right, listen, all right. Silence. That's what this is about. Silence ain't always not talking. Sometimes silence is listening. Listening to what you want. That's what the lonely stage is for. What you want. You can find out what you want. Not what your homeboy want. Not what your girlfriend want. Not even what your mama want for you. You can find out what you want. That is the opportunity. So when you get here, take this as a blessing. God don't put you here unless he wants you to do something. All right, fellas? If God didn't want you to do anything important, he would have left you with everybody else. All right, fellas? So if you feel like you're being hid, yes, it's on purpose. All right, fellas? What is it for? It's for your purpose, G. So calm the fuck down. Keep your drawers on, G. All right? You ain't supposed to be around everybody, all right, fellas? It's something about something of value. Damn, man, I'm getting off my talking points. There's something about something of value. That's why some things are so expensive. And the more expensive it is, the less they make of it. I'll give an example. I used to sell cars. There were certain type of cars that they only made a few models, meaning they only made like 100 of them, right? So 2 of 100 of them would be at my store. Gee, customers used to sit there all day trying to negotiate with them. I would look them dead in the eye and say, gee, I ain't dropping this price. If you want to fight about it, we can, but it ain't happening. All right, fellas, why? There's only a few of them. Only a few people get to touch it. Gee, those 2 of 100 cars, you couldn't test drive it. They sat on the showroom floor, all right? And if somebody touched it, the damn janitor would come behind and wipe the fucking fingerprints off. Why? Because it's valuable. It's supposed to be put up and isolated. If it's with everything else, it's just going to get saturated and look like everything else. So if you want to be different, be different. Only the chosen ones get this opportunity, all right, fellas? Remember, God cannot elevate you if you're influenced by the crowd. Just think about if God tell you to do something, right? Just think about Noah. You guys, all you Christians, y'all know Noah? Just think about Noah. God told Noah to build an ark. Right, the boat, to take the animals to the goddamn island and shit when it started raining. Gee, just think about this shit. Just think about if Noah's homeboy Jonathan was like, hey, Noah, bro, I don't think you should build a boat. I think we should build like a canoe or some shit. Like keep the top open so like when the sun hit us, bro, we can see the sun. You know what I'm saying? And the whole time you listen to Jonathan and God up there pissed off like, bro, I told you what to do. All right, I can't get you to do what I need you to do when everybody else running their damn mouth. Now, let's talk about the win. All right, fellas, win is for you guys who you think you're in a lonely stage because you resonate so far. So I'm going to clarify something for you, okay? When does God put you in a lonely stage? It is usually after 3 scenarios. All right, guys? And I'm going to number this, all right? 1 is when you are out of alignment. All right, fellas, one of the main goals in your life is to get in alignment with your higher self, with that man who you know you are. When you are not moving in alignment with your higher self, and it's about that time for you to move in alignment with your higher self, why is it that time? Why? Because it's something God needs you to do right now, G. All right, G, some of you guys going to get forced into this. All right, hey, G, you ain't got a choice. Why? Because it's time. It's something going to happen to some of you guys. I'm going to explain that on number 2. But sometimes it's just about that time. And you're out of alignment, all right? So your ass got to get recalibrated quick. So your ass get tossed into this shit, all right? Because you ain't got time we ain't got time for you to get it together, G. All right? Get on the damn bus, G. We ain't got time for you to be figuring the fuck out, negotiating with your future and your past, trying to make sure if it's the right thing to do the right thing. No, you gonna get forced into this shit to where you ain't got a choice but to do the right thing. Why? Because don't nobody like sitting in this shit. This shit ain't fun. Gee, I'm not glamorizing it nor glorifying it. I'm being a little dramatic today, but gee, it ain't fun. All right, that's why I'm trying to get this shit out the way so you go live your life. All right, G, so understand when you're moving out of alignment, you're going to get back aligned. All right, it's like when your spine is out of alignment. That shit going to hurt, and it's going to make you fucking feel it until you align that shit and get your ass to the chiropractor. I'll tell you another thing. All right, fellas, usually a lot of men go through the lonely stage After heartbreak. Now, let me tell you why. After heartbreak, you got two different type of men. Some men treat the heartbreak as a catalyst. And they alchemize the heartbreak. They alchemize the tragedy. They alchemize the dysfunction, the betrayal, whatever, the pain. They take it and they transmute it into power. Some men do that, and then God ends up putting them in a lonely stage, because let's say you get your heart broken, right? You get left, you get cheated on, whatever. And instead of being bitter and resentful, you take that pain and you transmute it into power. You're going to get blessed because of that. Now, you may think that because you did the right thing, you automatically going to start seeing abundance. No, now God got to prep you and put you here. Now, there's another type of guy, and that type of guy get his heart broken, and now he want to do the glow up. Instead of reflecting, maybe you did nothing wrong, so maybe you don't have to take accountability. Just reflect on your life. Why did that even happen? Why did it hurt you so bad? Why are you reacting? Now you want to go to the mall, buy some Jordans, and go fucking some hoes to heal. No, why are you thinking like that? So understand, there's two different type of men. So if you can take this heartbreak and alchemize it, bro, God, this is next. The reason why this is next is because God said, okay, you prove that you can go through pain and not get bitter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bless you with something great. But before I bless you with something great, I got to build you. All right? You paid your admission ticket, but now you got to understand what it means to be a chosen one. You proved that you are, but now you got to learn the ropes. All right, fellas? So that's the next reason. Here's the last reason, and one of the most important ones, and this is a nuance because some of you guys think because when you're in alignment, the opposite of number one, when you're in alignment and you're doing the right thing, you think, again, good things supposed to happen. You think because you're praying every day, meditating, doing the right thing, doing your fucking yoga, eating the right shit, being nice to people, telling the truth, smiling, not lying, wiping your ass when you take a shit. You think when you're doing all this stuff that you're supposed to just see abundance. No, sometimes when you pray... I'm laughing, all right? So I got this thing, right? I got to watch what I say because I got this thing where I feel like I got like supernatural powers where I can say something, then it happens, all right, I'm not boasting or bragging. I'm just telling you, when you love your God and you align with your God, you end up getting what you want when you ask him because he told you, as a man thinketh, so is he. But anyway, pay attention, all right? I got this thing where I got to pay attention to what I say, right? So sometimes when I ask my creator for something, I get it. But then sometimes when I ask him, I don't get it. And actually, I get the opposite. Like, for example, I ask him for some money. And instead of him giving me some money or just being quiet, I'd rather God just be quiet, be like, never mind, don't worry about it. But instead, he'll take money from you. All right, fellas? See, this is the thing. A lot of men think that God works logically. I'm going to tell you right now, he doesn't. When you ask him for something, sometimes he takes something from you just to see how your ass would move when something is taken away from you. This goes back to detachment. All right. So sometimes when you pray for sunshine, you may get rain. The only reason why you're getting the rain is just to see if you can be okay without the sunshine. Once if you're faithful over a few, you'll be ruled over many. That's when you pay your tuition to get to sit in the sunshine. All right, fellas? So understand, it's real easy. So this is when. All right? When. So if you reach any of these points in your life, and then now you're going through this phase where you feel like, what the fuck is going on? It's like I can't relate to anything. It's like I want to get here, but I ain't there yet. I don't want to be there, but it's pulling me back. It's time. All right? This is you should be excited about this time in your life. All right, fellas? All right, last thing today. All right, I'm going to end with this. All right, guys? Is the how. Probably what a lot of you guys have been waiting on. How do you move in the lonely stage? What do you do? I'm going to do a full video on how. How do you move inside the lonely stage? What do you do? And I actually did another video related to this. I'm going to put that in the description. But I'm going to make this simple, all right? I'm going to make this simple. I need you to be still. All right, fellas? Another word for that is silence. That's why you're there. Remember I said, the reason why God puts you there is so you can hear. It's so you can see. It's so you can understand. So what do you need to do? That is the biggest question a lot of guys ask. How do I do something? Sometimes it ain't about the how. It's about you being, all right? Just be. Be still. listen, pay attention, study. And when I say be still, I don't mean do nothing. When I say be silent, I don't mean be quiet. What I mean is stop trying to figure everything out and try to figure you out. All right, a lot of guys want to figure out everything on the external world. That's why I said on the attraction sequence, you're always worried about the action and the result. Focus on the damn observation. Focus on the thoughts, Focus on, if you focus on the top 3 instead of the bottom 2, I guarantee you're going to be all right. But a lot of you guys skip all this shit. Fuck you, right? You just worried about everything else. All right, fellas, what you do and everybody else. That's the actions and the result. What you do and everybody else. Fuck that. Worried about all these. You take care of these top ones. It's going to all fall in line. I guarantee you. All right, fellas. So how do you move in the lonely stage? Keep your ass quiet. Silence, my boy. All right, fellas. It's real simple. All right, You don't have to do much. What do I say all the time? You're not a human doing. You're a human being. All right, fellas? So when I tell you this, I'm speaking from self-experience. I had to get to a point where God said, look, son, you done proved you can do it all. The only thing you need to do every day is brush your damn teeth, talk to me, and follow your damn schedule. The rest of it is already written in stone. I just need you to be and understand so you can see the shit that I already have written. All right, fellas? So if you're a chosen one, this was for you, all right? So share this one with another chosen one. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. It's your boy, KD. We out here, baby.